everyone, my name is Aman Pratap Singh, and today I'm going to talk about the debate between one capitalistic, another is communist. Both the approaches will contradict here, and I'm talking about that what the conclusion can come. I personally believe that the central path is a good path. The central path between the capitalism and communism will become good. That can be said as a socialism. I think socialism is not a middle path, it's a way to bring our society towards the communism. That's a basic difference. But you need to understand that socialism and communism has what differences. And you need to understand that what is good for us, what is the significance of the capitalism and what is the significance of the communism in the society. We need to understand that. I am saying that, and what is a socialism? I firstly define that socialism is the we can say that way by whom we can reach towards the communism. That you can understand that is a tool like that. Socialism is a tool for reaching towards the communism. That's a general thing. Communism talks about the equality, the equal distribution of the wealth to all the people living in the territory. It's talk about that. I don't talk about the nation firstly, because communism doesn't follow the nation. Therefore some nationalistic people talks about that, who talks about that our country is superior, our nation is superior, so why you are rejecting my country? So after all, the communism has different approaches regarding that. They talks about that we don't think about the country, because the country is one of the way of exploitation, because they think that every rich class people always enters in the politics and takes the very high positions, and these all the rich people ever support to the rich, and these all the combination, all the people combine together and starts to exploit to the labor class or the class or the poor class generally. So these are the basic concept regarding that, why the communism talks about against the nation. I am not talking about that they are the anti-nation nationals who are the communists, but this is true that they are talking about the welfare of the people. They think that people is more superior than the nation. What you will do about the nation if your people will be poor, if your people will be exploited? So it doesn't matter. There is no any significance of the nation if the national people are not secured, if the nation's people are not happy after all. So these are their own concepts. So firstly, I'm talking about the here within the two parts. I'm talking about the capitalism, I'm talking about the communism, and what are the both contradiction here. Firstly, the capitalistic people will say that will ask a question from the communist person, and they will ask a question from them that you are talking about the communism teaches us the distribution of the wealth to the every people, to the every people. So if you will believe that the distribution will be the equal to the every people, so after all the motivation of doing work will be eradicated in the society, because everyone will think that if the wealth will be distributed equally, so why we must do the hard work here? So after all, that will be in the society. And so this communism, the person who has a communist ideology will answer in that way. He will say that you are talking about the lack of motivation currently. I personally believe that currently in this society there is also the eradication of the motivation between the poor people. Poor people never starts to think that he can become the rich in their life. They never try to think, and because they never try to think, there is not any causes of revolutions that are coming in our society. And you are talking about the motivations will be reduced only for the rich people who wanted to maintain their status generally, and those who are poor will gain the power if the communism will be, because the distribution of the wealth will be equal, and then the society will try to move according to their desire. And you are talking, and this capitalism again said that you are talking about the distribution of the wealth, but I'm talking about the earning also. This means that the communism also talks about the earning also. You are saying that if in the beginning you will distribute the entire property, entire wealth to everyone, but later according to the everyone's dare, everyone's courage, everyone's stamina, everyone's power, they can earn whatever they want. But the communism teaches us that how much money you will earn, you will have to again distribute to another one living in the society. So after all, this will bring, after all, even the poor will gain the wealthy if one time, then again they will also try to move himself upward in the society. And this is the basic principle of the society, that everyone will have to become the rich, and everyone wanted to become rich in their life after all. So how will you eradicate this? Because after all, if you will make the communist, everyone will become the lazy after all. So for this there is also the one another answers which may come, that you are talking about generally that all the persons will become lazy generally and will not do the work. So for that, the Marxist people often says that at that time when you will provide the equal wealth, equal earning, equal money to everyone, then the people will do only that works which they desire. For example, I have seen many persons who likes riding bicycle a lot. They often like, and even though he becomes a politician or the maybe with being taking the hobby of riding bicycle, they often become very highly interested in the politics, and they also become the actors, they also become any bureaucrat, but they have the hobby of the making of the riding bicycle. Okay, so because they think that riding bicycle will not provide the much more wealth generally, and another thing is that riding boats will not provide a lot of wealth to them. So this will not provide a lot of the wealth to them, but they have the interest, they have the keen interest for doing these type of things. But if the distribution will become the equal, then everyone will do what? Everyone will do only for that things which will be their real hobby, their original hobby, their original interest. So after all, for example, I'm giving another example of mine. If I have if I have the interest of writing the poetry generally, because I think that poetry has a very less earning sources, because we know that all the poets are earning very less money in the society, and another things like teaching or dancing, or after all being a player in the cricket, or being the player in any other field like the footballer. So this will provide me a lot of earnings, but I have the original interest in the poetry, but because of the capitalism I will join to the what that will provide me the wealth. So I will become the diverted from my original interest to whom I born, for whom and what the quality I have inherent. So I will become, after all, deprived from these type of things, what is my original desire. So that type of the things will come in front of me. So the communism people says that if all the people will gain the equal wealth, the equal earnings, the equal money, then every people of the society will do whatever they have the keen interest, or where they have keen interest after all. So the people will do every work with their interest. So after all, the society will be developed within its own self after all. So these are the, after all, the answers of the communism. So I'm saying that if you are very highly towards the capitalistic, very highly towards the communism, I'm not saying that, I'm saying personally that both are not a very good ways, and generally in the society I have talked something in the favor of the communism. You are realizing in my such type of explanations, you will believe that I'm talking in the favor of something towards the communism, but I'm saying that because all the people are intended, or all the people have lied towards the capitalism, then you need to also understand something about the communism. So therefore my purpose was that. So I'm talking about that we need to choose towards the way between the capitalism and communism, and this will lead to the formation of the well-class society. How will that government will provide a lot of the wealth to the all the persons living in the society who are the poor, and there will be the opportunity to that poor for growing themselves after all. So that will be after all the fine way for them. So I believe that these are the good things of the society. We need to understand that, and one day we will become move towards the between. We will also understand the society of the communism and capitalism, and without understanding the society we will not go towards a conclusion in our own mind. We will not take our own self conclusion without understanding anything. I believe that will happen, that will not happen in the society, that we will take any wrong decisions our own self. We will have some doubts or misunderstandings regarding these type of things. So thank you very much for listening me. I will hope that you will try to understand both concept of the capitalism and communism your own self. Thank you so much for listening me.